My name was changed to inherit the kingdom of God. Subtopic: Out with the old and in with the new. I have a question that I would like to ask you. Can some of you tell me your nickname? Do you still allow people to address you by that name? In life, people change their names for different reasons, whether it is a nickname or their legal name. Some people might change their name due to getting married or getting divorced, or they might think that their name might be too ghetto, difficult to pronounce, or too ethnic. Whenever I tell someone my name, it is like play 20 question. The first question is, can you break it up in syllables? Second, can you spell it? And lastly, what is the origin? When I don't feel like answering all of the questions, I just tell people that my name is Goldie, and there is no questions asked. But sometimes we secretly give ourselves names that no one knows about. Ladies man, babe magnate, cougar, bad chick, hottie, Mr. or Miss Slick, scam artist, the manipulator, idiot, loser, good for nothing, a failure. Isaiah 43:19. Behold, I will do a new thing, now it shall spring forth, shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. The first person that I think about who had a name change in the Bible was Jacob in Genesis 32:28. He was the child of Isaac and Rebekah, and he also had a twin brother named Esau, which was older than him. Jacob was better known as a mama's boy. Mothers, do we treat all of our children equal? Do we love one of our children more than we do the other ones? One day, Esau was working in the field, and he was hungry and about to die. He asked his brother to give him some food, and his brother replied, "Give me your birthrights. Somebody say kick me while I'm down." Mr. Defeated agreed to give up his birthrights to the manipulator. While Jacob's father Isaac was on his deathbed, Jacob the con artist deceived his father into believing that he was his son Esau, so that he can bless him and give him his birthrights. Later in Jacob's life, he encountered a man that he wrestled with all day. Jacob was getting the best of this man, and he knew that he couldn't beat him. This man just touched Jacob's hip and knocked his joint out of socket. It takes about 400 Newton of force to knock a person's hip out of their joint. Can you imagine someone hitting you in your hip with an 89-pound weight and you still keep on fighting? Perseverance. This type of injury would leave a person with some long-lasting problem. Say, my problems keeps me on task. Have you ever had a fight with someone and they was getting the best of you? You will do just about anything to stop them from beating the goodie out of you. Bite, kick, stump, hit them with any object that is in sight. Jacob leveled up and he kept wrestling with man. The man got tired and he said, "We have been fighting all day." Jacob told the man, "Bless me and I will stop beating the sleeves off of you." The man told him, "I will bless you. What is your name?" And he replied, "My name is Jacob." And he told him, "Your name will not be called Jacob, you will be called Israel," because he allowed God to prevail in his life. Sometime you have to go through hurt, pain, and agony to receive your blessing from God. I had to fight to be a good parent. I had to fight to be productive in life. I had to fight to be here today. I had to fight to have a peace of mind. There is light at the end of the tunnel. We all have went through a point in our lives when we wrestled with different insecurities that has a name attached to it. Look at how God used Jacob's bloodline for his son Jesus to be born, Matthew 1. We all know that Joseph wasn't Jesus' biological, but he was his father while he was here on earth. The only thing that you need to do is to change your name and let God prevail in our lives. Galatians 5:1-5. Stand fast therefore in the liberty wherewith Christ hath made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. I like how the NIV phrased this verse. 5. It is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm then, and do not let yourselves be burdened again by a yoke of slavery. What is the yoke of bondage? Yoke is a harness that holds something together. Bondage is something that has a stronghold that is in our life that is keeping us from have a relationship with God. What or who is holding you in bondage that is keeping you from have the characteristic of you? New spiritual name. Jacob had to have a name change, and so do we. Wait, preacher, what is my new name? I have known my government name my whole life. Do you want the kingdom of heaven? Drop down to verse 22. Galatians 5:22. 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. We are getting ready to say our positive affirmation. I am not hatred, I am love. I am not sadness, I am joy. I am not conflict, I am peace. I am not impatient, I am long-suffering. I am not harsh, I am gentleness. I am not wicked, I am goodness. I am not disbelief, I am faith. I am not arrogant, I am meekness. I am not carelessness, I am temperance. Some people might say that I have never had an example of the qualities that my new name shall portray. Love. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. 5. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Even though Joseph's brothers sold him into slavery, he could have had the name hatred. He still had the nickname of love when his very same brother came to Egypt. Due to the having no food to eat, he provided food for them. Genesis 37:27, Genesis 42:3-5. Joy. Sarah was overwhelmed with joy when she gave birth to her son in her old age. She even said that, God has made me laugh and everyone would laugh with me. Can't you just imagine her? But before she was joy, her name was sadness, because of all the years' embarrassment that she was not able to give birth to a child. She even gave her husband permission to get another woman pregnant. Let me give you another example of what joy looked like. Genesis 16:2, Genesis 21:1-8. I went to the doctor for my annual checkup and my lab came back, and I was told that I had a high white blood cell count. The doctor thought that I had leukemia, but he never told me what he thought my diagnoses. I had already changed my name to the warrior, sickly person, who died at a young age when the medical technician came in the room with over 15 different vials. I thank God, when the lab results came back, every test was taken, came back negative. I immediately turned into joy, peace. Jairus' daughter was sick and dying. Can you imagine how his name changed to peace when Jesus healed his only daughter? However, Jesus stopping and performed several other miracles on his way to heal Jairus' daughter. Jairus could have had conflict with Jesus because he didn't heal his daughter in the precise time that he wanted him to. Say God's moves at his own timing. Sometime it might take long time for someone to have peace. Just hold on, there is a blessing in the storm. Long-suffering. Job lost everything, his wealth, family and heath, and he suffered for a long time. Job's name could have turned to impatient, but I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord. Job 1:13-28. Some of us might feel that we have suffered our whole life, from a childhood to adulthood, but the suffering that you went through is so that God can get the glory out of your life. You will not die, you will live. You are not weak, you are strong. You are a walk, breathing testimony that was built for long suffering. Gentleness. There was a lady that was an adulteress, and the Pharisee wanted to stone her to death because she was a sinner, but Jesus stepped in and stopped her from being murdered. Jesus could have been harsh to the woman to fit in with the crowd, but we know that our Jesus don't work like that. When someone is struggling with different sins, encourage them and be a light in their life and a glimpse of hope. Goodness. There was a man who had been beat up and robbed. This man was dying and people walked past him. Can we say, no compassion wicked? A good Samaritan stopped and helped the dying man from the goodness of his heart. He didn't expect nothing in return. Luke 10:30-34. Faith. There was a woman that had an issue of blood for 12 years, and she had faith that Jesus would heal her if she touched the hem of his garment. When she touched his garment, she was healed. She could have been disbelief because she went to so many doctors and they couldn't heal her. Matthew 9:20-22. Sometimes the doctors can do nothing for you when you are sick. They can try all different concoction medication and you might have the same condition. All it takes is to have the faith of a mustard seed, and your circumstances will change. Your faith will make you whole. Meekness. Abraham and his nephew Lot was both living in the land of Canaan, which had a limited amount of grassland, which caused them and their herders to fight and arguing over whose cattle should eat what grassland. Abraham got tired of arguing, and he decided to allow his nephew to choose the land that he wanted to live in, say, be the bigger person. And of course, all know that Lot chose the land that was more fertile. Abraham could have been very arrogant because he was rich. However, God rewarded him greatly for him being humble. Meekness, putting other people's needs before yours. Genesis 13:2-18. Temperance. Joshua was instructed by God to march around the city of Jericho for 7 days, and the walls would fall down. Even though nothing happened from day 1 to day 6, but Joshua and all of the Israelites stayed on task, and they didn't get distracted, even though they see no change in the wall. Don't you just love when God is working behind the scenes on your behalf? Joshua could have been careless on the instruction that God had given him. He could have marched around the city one day and skipped another. But on the 7th day, the day the wall came tumbling down. Stay focused and on task for completion to happen in your life. Joshua 6:1-27, Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.